All right, you want to do one of those intros where it's like we're talking and people just accidentally stumble to listen on us. We have no intro at all. We're just already talking when people stumble into the podcast. Super highbrow podcast that people just mid conversation.
Well, we're highbrow people, so I think that's definitely what we should do.
We're so highbrow, super highbrow. Yeah, that's really why that's why they stopped selling Ecto Cooler, because of the nuclear weapon proliferation of the 90s. I think everyone realizes that now, that as we look back. Okay, hey, so this is going to be a different week. It's Mikey Bausch, the initiated, your boy who took over the podcast this week. Jeremy hit me up and said, hey, Mike, you want to do the podcast this week? You got someone interesting that you'd like to talk to that you could tell the Andolini story with and maybe your background? And I said, hell yeah, I got the perfect guy. And that guy is someone very special to me, is someone I met about 10 years ago when he applied to be a server for Andolini's when we were opening up our second location. And I can tell you, I did not like him. I did not care for him one bit. He had a very checkered past, to say it mildly. And he came in and just took the ball running as a server, to then become a GM, to then really define our brand along with me and my brother. He became my right-hand guy. And if you've ever met me at Expo, the person next to me every year is this gentleman, Alfredo Herera. Now,
all right.
Alfredo's right here. Alfredo, how are you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing excellent. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here with you today.
Now, to those who don't know, Alfredo is not with Andolini's anymore, and not because of anything bad. Alfredo has done, again, a solid decade building up our brand, building up what we did, and then went out on your own and took on a massive new challenge, which I wholly support, and I'm super stoked for you. You are in Walden, Colorado. Tell me about what you are doing now, to those who don't know.
All right. Yes, I am in Walden, Colorado, known as the North Park area. I've got a pizza location that we're running. It's called Mansker Station. We also have some cabins on the property. We do Airbnbs, have a little amphitheater stage, and we're making pizza and having a great time. We're also running another cafe that does breakfast. Eggs, bacon, hash browns. It's a whole new world for me. Short order cook, doing it all, diner style. It's great times.
So you went from, again, Andolini's, where it was what we do, which is high-end pizza, and we went from 2 locations to multiple locations, to now you're multiple locations in what could be classified as a resort community, resort town, where you have a very transient customer base, as well as your regular base of people who live in that town. How is that? How does that compare to Tulsa and now being in Colorado?
Well, it's extremely different. You have a workforce that comes in that will be here 3 or 4 months out of the year. Then they're gone. They might come back the following year. You hope they can. You have to hang on to a staff that knows how to do the front and the back of the house, that you can keep year round. It's a lot different. It's different than anything I've done before, and it's been quite the challenge, and I love it.
When I met you, again, you had a laundry list of jobs and stuff that you had taken on. You graduated from OSU, that's Oklahoma State University. And your family had a massive restaurant background. What other jobs and things have you done leading up to when you started with Andolini's?
Oh man, I had a bakery for a little bit. I was running a paper supply company for a short time as an office manager, doing the inventory, invoices, checking things in, checking things out. I worked at a liquor store, and also restaurants. I mean, I've always been in restaurants. That's really always been my passion, and always something I always came back to, was working inside restaurants.
You had a sales position too, for a cellular company but you had also worked so many restaurants that it made you very, very good and very well-rounded at taking a new employee on and getting them to the best spot possible, not only with their knowledge, but also mentally with the greatest attitude possible. And I would seriously commend the ability of you as an area director to keep morale high. And I think that that is something that people in the industry, especially when you're talking restaurants, it's not talked about nearly enough. It's look at how my recipe, my fermentation, my hydration percentage, but morale in the restaurant is so important. I think it comes naturally to you. What do you bring to the morale of any store that you're in that you think is unique?
I think for me, it all comes to fun. I want to have fun, and a byproduct of me having fun is that you're going to have fun too. I enjoy the fun, and I don't want to be at a job and do things that I don't get to have fun. So I try to, bring in the music, be silly, be goofy, be the dork that I am, tell dad jokes because I'm a dad. It's a parent. It's all grown. That's me. It's just, it's fun. It's just what I do.
I think being as professionally stupid as possible has an intrinsic value that we have significantly tapped into in the last decade. And again, since the time that we met each other in 2011, neither one of us had kids, and now you have three, and all in this new environment in Colorado, and I have one out here in Tulsa. How is it like having kids out there in Colorado and running that many locations with young children?
Well, I think anybody in the industry, you don't get to be there on the weekends all the time. You don't get to be there for, you miss holidays, like my wife and we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. It's always the day after, the day before, or 2 days after. It's something that, you get used to. It's part of who you are. But with the kids, it makes it a little difficult. You try to change your life around a little bit. Maybe you get up a little earlier, try to get things done early so that you can be there when they wake up and have breakfast and try to make it home for dinner and then get back to work. It's definitely different. But for the kids moving up here to Colorado, they have it's like a whole new world for them. All kinds of new activities that they've never been able to do. Coming out of Oklahoma, there's skiing, snowboarding, sledding, tubing down there, the rivers. There's the river rapids and rafting. There's all sorts of activities, outside that we're not necessarily used to. So it's been a good change and good fun. It's been good fun for us.
I mean, there is a lot of adventure and where you're at now, but it's a different beast, and it gets super cold, and we're having cold here in Tulsa, which we never have. Right now, though, for the people that don't know, at your pizza location, what style of pizza are you doing, and how many pies on average are you making a day?
We're doing wood fire, cooking at about 700 degrees. It's a little still doing it hand toss, so it's a little thicker, and we're cooking, like I said, at 700 degrees. We're doing kind of chunkier toppings, nothing light, real American style, pepperoni, supremes, different specialty pizzas. We're cranking out about 70 to 80 pizzas on average a day. During the winter, and our peak will probably be close to triple that, as our seating due to COVID right now has been quite limited, and we're not really a patio destination during the winter. But come summer, then we open up, we pretty much triple in size. We have a lot more opportunity.
When you're living in the seasonality of a restaurant like that, it makes the problems compound so much more. I mean, especially with hiring, what issues do you deal with when it comes to staffing when you're going from, level A to tripling it for level B?
Right. So a lot of the challenges, the local staff, the ones that live here year round, chances are they've worked a lot of different places, and they might work for you for a little bit, and they might move on to another location. So then there's also a lot of sharing of employees. I have servers that work in my location and would work in one of my locations and work at the bowling alley and also at the local bar. So you run into situations where you kind of have a inside knowledge of what everybody's kind of doing. Everybody knows what you're doing. So it kind of creates a family. So from that point, it's kind of nice. You know, we get to share things. We get to help, you know, like sometimes if we could share a truck, we could, you know, put one order together and get one truck. Helps us save on costs. So there's some nice things there. But with the staffing, it's really just getting that seasonality staff in and being able to train them fast and being able to cross train them and have your training protocols so simple and so stupid, like just so easy that they can just pick up and go. We can't have, you know, you can't have a pizza maker that takes 2 months to train, but they're only going to be here for 3. So yeah, having that down is really having it tight is really important.
And the cross training, especially, you know, everything that goes along with that to make it easier, to make them the most valuable asset on site possible.
If you're not cross training, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't. You have to be able to cross train. You have to have staff that's rounded that can do all things.
I think it's a very short-sighted and also natural thing that occurs. You have a kitchen manager and everyone's like, no, this is my superpower. My superpower is working the oven, or my superpower is working the expo, or I'm the best at tossing dough. And then they're like, well, then I'll do that. And then the day one person can't do that, everything falls apart. Or just when they have to cut labor, everyone just says, or kind of feels uncomfortable, and they don't have their sea legs for the other position, and it all kind of goes to crap. I see that in massive stores as well as small stores. I think small kitchens lend themselves to cross training easier, and especially when you have that seasonality where you don't have the option. Everyone needs to know how to do everything. It makes for a stronger kitchen.
Well, so that's what you say, lean and mean, right? Like you have to be lean and you have to be mean. And I think that mean is being able to master all the things. Nobody, you know, you should be able to play in the water, you know, get your hands in the dishes. You should be able to
mean, hydrated, wet, water, all things.
And hot. You got to be hot.
And hot.
Right next to the oven.
Hot. If you're not hot, you're garbage. You're a garbage pizza maker if you're not hot. That's the it's the dynamic of success there. Now, coming from, what did you take from what we have built here and take it directly being, okay, I'm just taking the Andol platform and moving that right over to here?
There's so many things about the Andol platform that I would take, if it translated. The training, the pizza book, the pizza Bible, Mike Bausch, the pizza Bible for Andolinis that has the picture of the dough, you know, the dough ball that's sheeted out, it's sauced, it step by step, boom, 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 cheese, the toppings, down to how many pepperonis are on a 20-inch pizza. That mentality, that thought process, that philosophy is what's saving me up here with the seasonality of my staffing. Being able to see, like, hey, I know how to do that because I saw that done and was part of making that. We make that here so that we can have a new pizza guy pop in and they're up and running. If you can look at the pictures, what do you say, Mike? See spot run.
See spot run. Well, specificity, and I mean, you were a big part of that. It's not like it was all, you know, it takes everyone coming together, and you and me together, we're seeing the problem of we'd have guys and we'd say, hey, it's 50 pepperonis, put it on. And then you could just see how wrong that could go down. Like, wow, you screwed up putting 50 pepperonis on, or some person's putting them on in like a star pattern and multiple stars. And the next person's doing a spiral. Next person's doing circles. And you're like, how did you all do this differently? And we thought, you know, if you took a piece of paper and told someone to rip it twice, they would all have a different result. But when we said, no, fold the top long way to the sideways, do it this exact way, that everyone had the same piece of ripped up paper at the end. And it was an epiphany when we realized that and said, oh, we need to get to this level of, and what I don't like is when people say, oh, that's a crutch, or that you're speaking down to the employee. I'm like, no, I'm just giving them the best opportunity at success to clear up what the definition of success is, so therefore they know. And then we took a crap ton of photos of every pizza in every size and every iteration leading up to it, baking it off. It doesn't just happen, especially when you have multiple sizes. But at this point, we have the wherewithal to do it quicker, but starting it from scratch. And that's why that Excel spreadsheet, whenever we would do the seminars and someone would come and see our seminar afterwards and be like, "Wow, can I get that Excel spreadsheet? Can I get that whiteboard?" Without fail, every single time we would do the Sunday seminars, which Fredo would always be at with us. And we would talk to the people that are so hungry that they come Sunday and they want to absorb as much information as possible at Pizza Expo. And we gave them a ton of it. It was very, very productive.
And it's possible anybody can do that, even with one pizza location. This is not something that's going to cost a fortune. It's some sweat equity. It's taking the photos. Well, it's actually knowing what you want on the pizza, I guess, is number one. Make the commitment to, hey, this is what this pizza is. And then you take the photos, you make it, you take the photos, you get it done. You put in the time, and then you can just print it out. Even I don't have the same budget here that we had at Andolini's. So you do things, I remember one thing, when you're making dough at Andolini's, in front of the mixer is the dough recipe. You have the whole recipe is there, step by step, exactly what to do. Why? So it's right in front of you always, and you make the dough right. So I take that, but I just print it out on a piece of paper, laminate it, and put it in front of my dough mixer. Get it done. It's just about doing it. You can do it, what is it, DIY? All day long.
DIY.
DIY.
Do yourself it. Do yourself it. That's what we always say. Do yourself it. That's our mantra. I like it. And we just briefly touched on Pizza Expo. I am stoked. We're in mid-February when we're recording this, and some of the restrictions were rolled back in Vegas. So it's looking hopeful that there will be a Pizza Expo 2021. And assuming there is, you said earlier this week to me that you were planning to attend. So we're going to keep that decade of excellence going. Still seeing each other in Vegas 2021 with your boy. I'll make it happen. So I'm looking forward to that as well. I'm looking forward. Jeremy wanted me to announce. This is a little bit. I'm going to be real with the audience. I don't want to Pauly Shore myself. All right. I'm going to say that out loud. Pauly Shore. Everyone loved Pauly Shore. And then they were like, I don't like that guy anymore. I am cognizant that I want to always give value in anything I'm doing. So it's awkward to say it out loud, but I'm super stoked that Fredo will be with me, and that after doing Expo this long, I am the keynote speaker for 2021 Pizza Expo, and I welcome everyone to wake their ass up early in the morning on Wednesday and drag themselves to the Expo floor, where I seek to give you a lot of this information in a very fun, palatable way and talk about the history of Andolini's. And I think that'll be I'm very much looking forward to seeing you there, because you're so tied to the history of this company that I'm very excited to see you there this year.
For over 32 years, the multi-award-winning PDQ POS system has consistently been a top-rated point-of-sale system for pizzerias, delivery, and quick service. With built-in and seamless integrations to all top-tier third-party platforms, native online ordering and rewards, contactless POS functionality, and a delivery toolkit app that enhances all aspects of delivery, PDQ POS will help your restaurant achieve sustained growth while saving time, effort, and costs. Learn more today at pdqpos.com or call 877-968-6430. That's 877-968-6430. Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide.
I wouldn't miss it, especially with you speaking as a keynote speaker. I don't know if you guys haven't heard Mike speak. It's quite the ride. I highly recommend it. I have listened to his. I'm being serious. It is quite a trip. It is a lot of information. It's entertaining. It's everything that you want. It's definitely not boring. You leave smiling and with a lot of new ideas and best practices. It's
interesting. Well, you'll know, Fredo will know how I'll answer most of the questions because it's drilled in what we speak or our mantras. But the amount of random questions that come out of nowhere at Expo that make me even question and wonder, okay, well, they're like, okay, I see you have 3 doughs, but what do you do when you have 4 doughs in a restaurant? You're like, okay, you do more. I don't know. There's the amount of random a lot of really interesting problems and questions are posed that always get me going. I wanted to touch base additionally on Vegas in general, because most of the audience that's listening to this, I would assume, is aware of Pizza Expo and is planning to go. So what I would like to do is to do a Hot Slice podcast hot tip for Pizza Expo. We're going to give you some Hot Slice hot tips.
Hot Slice hot tip.
Hot Slice?
Like that?
Hot tip. Yes, the Hot Slice.
There it is.
The Hot Slice hot tips. So I am not a local of Vegas, neither is Fredo. We are master tourists of Vegas. We lived in Vegas for a week every year for 15 years, about that. So I have lived 3 months straight out of a hotel room in Las Vegas. And here are the things that we know now that we wish we had known then. If you're going to Vegas for the first time, or even if you've done it a bunch, these are some Hot Slice hot tips. First and foremost, if you are going to park at Expo, bring a $10 Hamilton for every day you're going to, or else you're going to slow down the line and you're going to ruin it for everyone else, and they don't take credit card. That's a Hot Slice hot tip.
It sure is. It sure is.
You got one, Fredo? What do you got?
I would say definitely shipped or some grocery delivery service to your hotel room. Get your water, get your Gatorade, get your muscle milk. I know you're all drinking muscle milk. Get fruits,
gotta be swole.
Get all the things you need. You gotta stay swole, you gotta stay hydrated, get your pre-workout, whatever it is you need.
If you're going to GTL, you got to have the Instacart, the shipped. If you want to take the walk down to Walgreens, that's fine too. But if you want to show up off the plane and meet someone at the hotel with waters and actual fruit, because there is not an abundance of bananas or apples or anything healthy at your disposal that week in Vegas, and it is dry, you're going to want to do that. Additional tip, Thursday. Let's talk Thursday for a moment. Pizza Expo goes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday and Wednesday are dominated with competitions, the Rocket Party Wednesday, and then everyone, a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people say, oh, I'm leaving Thursday, which I think is the most short-sighted move. We have done so many years where Thursday is the day we start our approach to Expo and going booth to booth to booth. I mean, we decided our POS from that Thursday, and the exhibitors that still care about Thursday, you're going to see the customers who care about shopping and seeing what's doing. So if you're looking to get the best experience, I think Thursday is it, because a lot of people have left, albeit stupidly, and you have the floor to yourself. And exhibitors, if you want the people who are intentional about purchasing, that's the day it happens. That's a Hot Slice hot tip.
Yeah, you got Thursday. It's the deal day. You make all the deals on Thursday. That's when you talk to your pepperoni guy, you get the deal done. You close it. Thursdays, they have the time to talk to you. So definitely, I think we definitely kind of stumbled into that, I believe. I don't know, but I feel like we were so busy that Thursday was our only opportunity to really walk the floor.
We had many times, Fredo and I have taken 5-6 different people all doing the competitions. And when you do that, you have just a mountain of things on your plate, along with whatever speeches or demos I was doing in the seminar rooms. And also you're seeking to capture it and get good social media content to last for a while. And then above all else, you're trying to absorb the content from other seminars. I mean, another big thing for us we had an agenda, especially if you're bringing 21-year-old kids with us. It's like, what seminars are you going to that you're going to report back to us, so that they wouldn't just show up, walk around a little, and then say that they wanted to go back to the pool. Really having an agenda of who's going to do what and where was very productive when we made them bring it back like a report card of what they learned.
The benefit is, like, you could be at more speeches, more workshops than you could personally attend, because you had everybody reporting back. This is what I learned. This is what I picked up. We always went to the one with the PO, with our POS. We were always there to have that workshop to learn what was new in the POS, what updates were coming, what was the roadmap, things that benefit you.
What's another
tip? Definitely make that agenda. If you like the vendor, if you want to make a deal and you want to pursue that product, you want to see it, don't just rely on the scan. The scan is hey, I got to get so many scans, I'm going to take a picture, and then you're going to get a blanket email. Get a way to get in touch with them. Get a business card, get a phone number, get an email, get the information that you need, give them your business card, that's the other thing, business cards. You should have tons of them on you. I know it seems old school. Yeah.
But it seems like redundant, like that's an obvious thing, but you want to get a great point. We saw a shelving system, and the person who was selling the shelving system was a broker, i.e. they didn't work directly for the shelving company, so they didn't really know a lot about it. But we got photos of, that's the model we like, that's the name, got the name of the guy that actually could give us information on how to buy it, got his email, got his phone, and then we pursued them, because not having it wasn't an option. It wasn't about them selling us and winning us over as a customer. It was about us getting the product we needed. So it became about us being advantageous. And if we had just waited for the scan to turn into something, then that would be a short-sighted move on our part. Let's talk hotels. I think these are tips that we very much
hotels, Mike.
Yes. Very, very, very particular. Yes. Very particular. If you are showing up early and you want to make the dough in your room, away from everyone, with the right time and a best environment to do it, what is your best hotel?
Well, Mike, that's going to be the Vdara.
All right, now
hands
tell me
down,
why.
The best hotel. If you are wanting a kitchen, if you're wanting space to make dough, I don't know how many batches of dough we have made inside of a Vdara hotel. Have a full-size refrigerator, a cooktop, a good-sized sink, cutting boards, knives. They have a lot of tools already stocked in the hotel room.
And the table, here's a really specific, this is super inside baseball specific. They have a dining table in every room that is mounted in place. So if you don't have a mixer, you can mix by hand on this glass surface table, and it won't go all over the place like if it was some loose table or a wood top table. And we would make all of our dough by hand.
Nobody likes a loose table. I want to make sure that nobody.
You show me a loose table, I'll show you a crappy hotel room, all right? I'll tell you something about loose tables. Vdara, and people say Vdara, what's the Vdara? It's behind the aria. It's part of that whole thing. We're not paid by the Vdara to say this at all. I mean, it's typically most years it's part of the Pizza Expo package of hotels. It's a non-gaming hotel, and what's ridiculous is it's cheaper than most of the hotels. Now, if you don't want to deal, the problem then is if you have a few people with you, it's like meet downstairs at 8 a.m. and then one person's there at 7:55, one person's there at 8:05, and then one just jackasses, hold on, I'm at Starbucks, the line's long. And you're like, dude, we need to go. and if you don't want to deal with any of that crap at all, your best bet for going close is what? I would say, well, I mean, if you could go monorail, but I'm saying bet Westgate. Westgate is my choice.
It's got to be Westgate.
Logistical, if you just want to walk every day to the convention, that is your best bet. If you want the best dining experience, nothing in Vegas touches the Cosmo. It's super pretty, but holy God, is the food there amazing. They have Momofuku, arguably the best meal it's so good that Fredo and I will have it more than once in Vegas, and that is China Poblano.
Thinking about it now, so
China
good,
Poblano,
so good.
Dan Mian, Shumai. It's Jose Andres mix of. Oh man, I can talk about that. It's very not pizza related, but it's a hot slice hot tip. If you're gonna go
Hot slice hot
check
tip.
out, so again, the hotels I go with what the pizza day suggestions are. Another big tip that we have to impress upon the younger pizza folk: you got to stretch and you got to hydrate. And they're like, "Okay, old man," I'm like, "You don't stretch, you don't hydrate. You see what tomorrow's feels like. You will be." We have seen staff that is lying on the ground because we expo so damn hard, Fredo. We expo so damn hard that they can't hang. So I have one last tip, and it's the preeminent tip, especially if you've not been to Vegas before. It's set an alarm, not for the morning. Set an alarm for the evening. If you're saying, you know what, let's go out tonight, let's have a good night, set a 3 a.m. alarm. Because if you see that 3 a.m. alarm go off and you're still not home, go the hell home. Go the hell back to your hotel. If you see the vacuums and the floor waxers looking at you like, what are you still doing out? If Vegas is looking at you like, what are you still doing out? You're out too long.
He's saying that from experience. This is experience.
You walk in I think everyone's, if you've been to Vegas more than 3 years, I think everyone's had that thing, and they're like, geez, what is going on? And it's like, you go out to dinner with your Roma reps and maybe the PFG reps. You just go to a few places and go to a few more places. It's what happens. Set an alarm.
Do a little dancing. You dance here, you dance there.
It's a win all around. And that's another thing, meet with your vendors. And it's a great opportunity to go and have dinner with them and talk about the year and what your goals are, what their goals are. This is a great opportunity. If you're in the pizza community, Pizza Expo is much bigger than just a 3-day conference. It is the opportunity to see people like you, to really delve into the goals for the next year with your vendors. And there's no shawarma expo. There's no burger expo, to my knowledge. Pizza Expo is this really rare, unique, cool thing. And that's why I'm so stoked about it. I mean, going 15 years now I could barely afford the hotel room the first time. And now because it's something that's been so key to Andolini's success, to educate ourselves each year, to still double down on what we don't know, and also to find the best products in the industry. And again, I have not been keyed up to say this. This is just what I genuinely believe. And Fredo's been there with me for the last 10 years. I mean, every single year we've come back with this mountain of information that we have 3-hour meetings on, talking about what we're going to do with it and what we're going to pursue after everything we got from Expo.
I agree. Expo is an amazing place. The relationships you can build there are phenomenal. The community, the pizza community, if you don't know this, but I'm guessing if you're listening to this, you probably do, is one of the best communities. You have any questions? I've never asked a question and not gotten a real answer back about anything. If a dough question, you can ask a pizza guy, and they're going to tell you. They're going to help you out. Everybody wants to see you succeed. So this is a great community. It's a great place. The Expo is a great place to put faces with people maybe that you're in a Facebook group together. You can actually run into each other, shake hands, see each other eye to eye. It's a great place. It's just a good feeling. It's a good community. And I love it. Wouldn't miss it.
You touched on something there with the social side, because I think when people think about Facebook and Instagram, the immediate reaction is, okay, that's how I speak to my audience. But it is also a place to network inside the community to make yourself better. And Facebook groups really have done that in droves for, hey, I'm having trouble getting modifiers to work on this POS, all the way to, hey, I'm doing this hydration and I'm not getting the intended result. Whether it's a baking thing, a training thing, a tech thing, all these relate to our community. And I'm seeing that translate from Facebook to a lot of people are DMing each other a lot more on Instagram. And since I released Unsliced last year, it's a book about, mindset and systems and everything. I'm getting DM'd daily with things from there, which is great. You have the opportunity to talk to practically anyone. And the mindset 20 years ago, hey, stay away from my information, has gone out the window, and people are actively engaging and sharing content. And I think it's great for the industry and great for new operators, especially. Have you hit anyone up personally?
Definitely. What's that?
Have you hit up anyone personally on Instagram?
Yeah, I've asked questions, different people. I've gotten some help on some different flowers. Being in it, another one of the challenges I face in a small market is your availability to product, what you have to get and where you could go. Food service only gets, might only have a couple flour options, might only have a couple cheese options. So you have to try different things, and you're trying to look, and it's been a challenge. So I've been able to help. I've asked you for help. I asked you for help the other day on a yeast question.
Yeah.
I do have your number. I got your number, Mike. But that's a good thing. I like reading I'm a Facebook groups. Pizza Assassins, I think, is one that I enjoy. A lot of real good community there. They do there's a lot of people helping each other out. There's a lot of good ideas, good tips. It's nice to be able to talk with like-minded people.
I really like your Instagram specifically, and you've been very good. I mean, we built up Andolini's Ando Pizza Instagram for the last 3 to 5 years, and it's gotten about 30,000 followers. And you approached this new challenge to really double down on your pizza side of your Instagram and going to this new community. What I like about yours especially is it's not purely photos of pizza, which I think is great, but when it's purely photos of pizza, it's not genuine. I don't feel a connection to the person giving me content. And you're not only showing that, you're showing photos of your family, you're showing photos of you making pizza and baking it. So I really want to commend you for that. What do you like about sharing content?
I think it opens a book of kind of who I am and lets people see the people that not only are my friends and family, but also people that maybe had stopped into the pizza joint and wanted to just connect with us and just kind of see what we're doing. They get to see, hey, I'm a person. I have, this is my kids. This is my life. I feel like I try to work really hard to make my pizza as good as possible. But a lot of that is I want my kids and my family to be proud of it too. So it's a big part of why I do what I do is my family. So I think that's important for me to show that side of me.
That's fantastic. And I think we've always said lead with product first and everything else falls into place. If people want to check you out on Instagram or anywhere else, where can they find you, Fredo?
You can find me on Instagram at Fredosgram.
Okay, at Fredosgram. And I am Mike Bausch. I'm at Mikey Bausch if you want to see what I'm doing in the industry, if you want to hit me up directly. If you want to see what we do with Andolini's, go to Ando Pizza at Ando Pizza. And if you want to check out the Unsliced experience, go to unslicedbook.com where all my links are there. If you want to hit me up on LinkedIn instead of Instagram because you're super business, that's your level. That's totally cool too. I'll answer you there as well. So thank you to Pizza Expo and Pizza Today. Thank you to Alfredo Herera for taking some time this morning before we both jump into our lunch rushes, and look forward to seeing you in Las Vegas, sir.
All right. Can't wait for it. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.